this video is going to be a spoiler. I'm just going to tell you that. Is what it ain't. It's your girl Umbrella, and I am back with another video. A little psycho, you feel me? Like a D-list movie. This is somebody that we should have heard about in school. What is going on with the school system? You guys are going to be shocked when I say what I'm about to say, okay? What it ain't, it's your girl Umbrella, and I am back with another video. You guys, what do I say? You know what I mean? Like, it's been so long. I miss doing this. Like, I hope you guys aren't disappointed. I do understand, like, your girl has been gone for at least 2 months. This is like the longest break that I've taken from doing YouTube. It wasn't even planned, like it just happened, but I'm back now, and you know, it's time to get back to what I love to do. I missed you guys, so I'm here, and I'm also here with a really good video. But I will catch you guys up on what's been happening, what's been going on, like behind the scenes, and what caused me to take this 2-month hiatus on my vlog channel. So I do have a vlog channel. It's called Vlogs by Ombre. I just recently made it, so there's no videos on there yet, but I will be explaining a little bit about what happened with my disappearing act. On that channel, I also will be talking a lot about fashion and style and beauty and stuff like that, on top of doing stuff for my business and everything that I used to include in my vlogs, but better. That's going to be on my separate channel. I hope that you guys are excited to hear that I'm going to have a new channel. I just thought that would be a good idea, just to move some of my other passions to another channel, so that you guys can, you know, come here for a specific type of videos and then go there for other types of videos. So be on the lookout for that going on soon. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. Again, it's Vlogs by Ombre. That's my name. This video, I'm coming back with a biopic, okay? I have to. This movie that I will be discussing, it compelled me beyond belief to do a video for it, because the storyline, the plot, I am a sucker. Guys, I am a sucker for a good plot in a movie. Especially in a horror movie. And I thought that this would be the perfect time to do it, because it's almost Halloween. By the time that this comes out, it probably will be Halloween. So happy Halloween. I thought that this would be the perfect time to talk about this movie. And the movie is Candyman. Well, before I get into that, make sure that you guys subscribe to this channel, and thank you guys that have been newer subscribers that have been on this channel. I'm back, so I will be keeping the videos coming. I'm not going to keep saying that. I'm just going to do it, okay? So, but anyway, yes, make sure you guys like and subscribe right now, because this video is going to be like, I'm dropping gems as usual. Hey, people sleep on this movie so bad. People always sleep on Candyman for some reason. To me, growing up, just as a backstory, and like, it always was very like scary to me. I remember seeing, like, not the whole movie full out, but like scenes of the movie. I remember getting background from my mom. She never really wanted to watch it when it was on TV. She always turned it on when it was like those really scary scenes. And I remember the bumblebees, and I remember his voice being scary, and I remember him always having blood on him, and just and I remember he was a black man, and it was like one of the only films I saw with like a black man as a killer growing up. So yes, we're gonna dive into the plot of the movie. We're gonna talk about the newer version that came out, I believe, in 2021, and then we're gonna go, or 2020, I don't know. And then we're gonna go back and forth between the 1992 version and then the more current version of the movie, because I enjoyed both. I don't think I ever seen the first one like full out until now, so we're gonna get into it. So let's do this. Okay, so the original plot of Candyman was that, or the story behind Candyman. And if you haven't seen the newer version of it, then you might want to go watch it before you watch this. This video is going to be a spoiler. I'm just going to tell you that. The plot of Candyman was that in like the 1800s, the very first Candyman was a man that was talented. He came from a family that became rich off of, manufacturing some type of machine to like make shoes. And he became an artist. So he was compensated to paint a picture or a portrait for this really important lady, and her family was very rich. And it was a white lady. They ended up falling in love, and then she became pregnant, and of course her father found out, and he was outraged because he was a black man, and the father sent a white mob after him, and they tortured him to death, and they cut off his arm. And that's where the hook was. They cut off his arm, they smeared his body with honey, and then they let bees attack him until he died of that. So it was a pretty gruesome and torturous death. And basically the movie is like his reckoning. It's like revenge in a way. That's why I thought it was interesting, especially the newer version. But the plot is just so good. The plot is so good. It's like a black man, falls in love with a white lady, and comes back and reincarnates himself year after year, and, tortures people that, not even really good people, tortures people that really call his name. Of course, if you look in the mirror and you say his name 5 times, that's when he appears and he's supposed to kill you. In the newer version, it showed more of how Candyman reincarnated himself every decade or so. It would be a new man with an identical story like the original Candyman, and he would become Candyman. So I thought that was interesting too. So every like decade or so, a new man with the same similar story of him getting tortured to death for some way or reason, and then he would reincarnate as Candyman. Specifically in the newer version, there's a man in the neighborhood, in the Chicago neighborhood, and he was known as Candyman in the neighborhood because he had a hook for a hand, and he would give kids candy, and he, wasn't a bad guy. And one Halloween in particular, a white lady or a white kid found a razor blade in their candy, and they blamed it on him. And the police were searching for him, and that Candyman, he took refuge inside the walls of the apartment building. And one time he appeared to a black boy. He came out of the wall and gave him candy. And then the little boy screamed, and the police came and beat him to death. So that was like another, an updated 1980s version of Candyman. So it's like a similar story, and then it's more current because it's like police brutality. So the plot thickens as the years go by, and a lot of black men suffer at the hands of racism and injustice in our own communities. It's almost like you're made to kind of feel sorry for Candyman and understand his rage. And that's what I like. He's not like a typical serial killer where he's just a psychopath and, he's just killing people for no reason. There's a reason to the madness, and I think that's what makes the plot even thicker and even more humane. In the 1992 version, there's a journalist. Her name was Helen Lau, and she was interested in the story of Candyman, so she was interviewing people at a college about experiences that they've heard of or saw, and in particular, she met some cleaning ladies, and they were familiar with the story. And that Candyman, originated from the projects, and that a story about a lady that heard some banging in the walls, and Candyman came out of the walls and killed her. And they found her in like a pool of blood, and her name was Ruthie Jean, and you could hear her screaming for help, and no one came. Helen Lau and her partner Bernadette, they ended up traveling to the same projects, and they went and found her apartment. And when they found her apartment, they saw the hole in the wall, and they saw the hole behind the mirror that led to, you know, where he was hiding out, basically, within the walls of the apartment. Then Helen Lyle and Bernadette, they met Anthony McCoy. And in the newer version of Candyman, Anthony McCoy is now a man. But in the 1992 version, he was a baby. And they met his mom, and they met him, and she lived like a couple of doors down from the lady that got murdered by Candyman. And she was really adamant about trying to protect her son from Candyman so that, you know, he wouldn't get him, and that it was just her and him. The entire movie, I feel like, was very complex. In the movie, Candyman arises because he feels, you know, he feels that Helen is trying to create doubt in people's mind, and he kept saying like that the more people fear him, the more power he has, and the more alive he is because people are talking about him and people are in fear of him. So with her being like, he's not real, like she was saying like Candyman isn't real, she kept saying stuff like that. He appeared, and he proved to her that he was real and that he was here. As he did appear, he framed her for murder. The whole entire movie was compelling, especially watching the newer version. I think the newer version made me want to go see the older version, and I think that shows that they did a good job in the movie. And I think what we see now in that movie, because it was an extreme success in 1992, and that's why they came out with 2 or 3 other versions of the movie after that. But it was an extreme success, like in 1992, the very first one especially. And the fact that they could make a newer version, and it was scary, and it was really relatable. It was like, it kind of made him feel like he was a superhero and a villain at the same time, because of course, you know, but like these are people that caused other people pain. So it's like, is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? It's one of those like type of movies. And Anthony McCoy in particular, Candyman had his eye on him for a long time. And at the end of the movie, Helen sacrificed herself to save Anthony McCoy. And that kind of shocked me. I mean, the whole pit of fire, and she was in the fire, and because he would have died right then and there. He would have died. And his mother was just in really terrible shape when he got kidnapped. She was just like a zombie, almost in a trance. In the newer version, you know, Anthony McCoy is an artist just as the very first Candyman. He's a struggling artist, and he's trying to find his vision, and he finds it even more in Candyman. And his mother didn't tell him anything about what happened when he was a kid. So he had no idea that why he felt so compelled to like paint about the story of Candyman, and it's because he's deeply involved. Also, Helen Lau is related to the lady that Candyman impregnated. So that was a deep like plot twist as well, is that she was related to her, and he saw a lot of her in Helen, and that's why he hunted for her so intensely. Is because there was blood ties involved, even though in reality it's kind of nasty. I think that makes him more immortal, is because he's literally acting like, you know, she's the same person that he was in love with and he had a baby with, and it's like, no, she's literally like family. So that's kind of nasty. But anyway, Back during like the 1800s, like you couldn't have sex, you couldn't have consensual sex with a white person, like male or female. It was always considered rape if there was a black man and a white lady. So that was historically correct. Most of those instances probably were, I would say, a good 95%. No, I would say 100%, okay? And I'm not just saying that because I'm black, but I would say 100% of the time, those instances were consensual. And a lot of women lied and said that, you know, they were raped, and they were the cause of a lot of black men's death. So in a way, it's kind of like, how can you not expect something like Candyman to happen? A reckoning, revenge. I think that is, and it's like a deep rooted revenge. It's a deep history in it, and it's history. It's like, it's decades and decades and generations of pain and anguish and humiliation and, you know, wrongful death and lynchings and crime, and it's all coming to the surface in Candyman in a way that people try to criminalize him and make him seem like he's such a villain, when in actuality most of his killings are people that are bad, people that are causing other people pain. The scene that pissed me off was when, in the first one, was when Helen Lyle's husband was cheating on her, and she caught it like right away, of course. He wasn't there for her when she got arrested because he was with the college student that he was cheating with. And when she broke out of the psychiatric hospital, he ended up, he was moving her in and having her paint the walls pink at that. And when Helen ended up, you know, dead, and the entire community came and, you know, showed their respects to her, he then started to feel sorry for, you know, not being there for her. And I mean, excuse my language, but I just thought that was so fake that you would even try to act like you care now that she's dead. And you know, you can reflect and know that you're with some bimbo airhead type of girl, a girl at that, and you was with a woman. But anyway, that's just my little tidbit on that. I did find some stories that were similar in real life to Candyman, and that's a part of what I wanted to add to the video as well. Similar to Candyman that actually happened in real life was Chicago's Homie the Clown. So we all know Homie the Clown from In Living Color. Damon Wayans played him on In Living Color. He was like this really funny yet violent clown. So he dressed up as a clown, but like a clown that was kind of like sad, or maybe not sad, but a little melancholy, but mainly just like, you could tell that life has beaten him down a little bit. And he used to always say, like, homie, don't play that. He would have like a sock with something in it, and he would hit a kid upside the head with it. And that was just on Living Color. It was just a little funny skit. But it's the fact that it was turned into an actual serial killer, allegedly, and a kidnapper. So this happened in real life in like 1991. So it was around the same time that the movie came out. Candyman came out, and it was a man, and he would dress as a clown, and he was riding around Chicago, and he was, you know, luring kids into his van with candy or some. I read that he would just snatch them up. If that wasn't the case, he would just snatch them up, and kids were disappearing, and it was right around Halloween. So that's something that's kind of similar to the Candyman story. Also forgot to add that in the Candyman story, he did pass candy out to kids. And when the razor blade was found in the white kids, you know, candy, you know, the police were after him. And when they did find him, they beat him to death. And then he of course died after that. And then after he died, they noticed that the candy with the razor blades was still being passed out, so they knew that it wasn't him after all. So he was innocent in the entire ordeal. For Homie the Clown, yeah, he was like a kidnapper in Chicago, and a lot of kids were scared because a lot of kids were disappearing and kidnapped, and some of them called him a rapist, some of them said he was a killer. Like, it was a lot of rumors going around that time. And then another instance that relates to Candyman is the story of Timothy Coggins. In 1983, he was murdered by 2 white men because he was dating this white lady. And they actually, you know, came and got him out of a club that was, you know, a black club. Let me just say it. A black club that was popular at the time. They got him out of the club and they put him in their car and they stabbed him like 30 times, while they also carved X's in his back and on all over his body. Then they proceeded to take him to like the outskirts of town where nobody was, and they chained him to the back of the car and they drug his body around until he stopped moving. All because he was dating a white lady, and it was consensual. And to them, there's no such thing. Even in 1980s, there's no such thing as, you know, consensual sex when it comes to interracial relationships. So that is very similar to Candyman in the story. So I really want you guys to let me know what you think about Candyman. What stood out to you in the 2021 version of the movie and the 1992 version of the movie? I liked both. Which one did you like better? What do you think? Is he a villain? Is he a hero? Is he a protagonist, an antagonist? Like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think about the legend of it? What do you think about the story? I think it could potentially be like very true, because it mimics a lot of real life stories in the black community of, you know, men and women falling in love interracially and, you know, suffering at the hands of whatever society's rules were. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, let's talk about this. I miss doing this. I miss you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. Be on the lookout for my new channel, Vlogs by Ombre. I will be telling you guys what's going on with me and where have I been. Okay, so, and all the latest like fall fashions and everything like that. So get a good glimpse, you know, of a different side of me on that channel. So I can't wait to see you guys again. I missed you guys. Let's keep the videos coming. Flood the comments because I'm back, okay? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.